Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. So I know there is somebody out there tonight watching this video who loves to watch videos about Descendants of Zombies. Unfortunately for them, they can't find the videos that they can find time and appreciating because they never seem to be uploaded. You have a lot of these YouTube channels that are dedicated to Descendants of Zombies, but they never upload videos. They probably upload one video for every 6 months, and there is never a new video uploaded to the channel you may have subscribed to. That doesn't happen here, and that's not the case with this YouTube channel. The reason why we created this YouTube channel together were for fans of Descendants of Zombies who love watching Descendants of Zombies videos every night on YouTube. This happens every night. You find a Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, and they never seem to upload a video, and if they do upload a video, it's one video per every 6 months. And I want to make a promise to each and every one of you, like I made from the very first video that was ever uploaded on this YouTube channel. I will always and forever be here to help you make sense of Descendants of Zombies, because I know what it's like to grow up around a franchise, feel very appreciative of the moments the franchise gave you the chance to be a part of, like the Worlds Collide Tour, all these tour dates for Clarke and Freya Sky coming into fruition and happening now, which I'm really proud for Freya Sky and Clarke because of, and I'm really excited to be a part of their futures, because I think they're really finding their place in the world, and when they finally do find their place in the world, oh man, that's going to be something so spectacular for us all to experience and to be a part of, because this is really history that we've had the chance to be a part of, and because this is history we've had a chance to be a part of, we are never going to forget these moments that we had a chance to be a part of and really marvel in together, because we had the chance to share our stories about why we became fans of Descendants of Zombies. We've had a chance to get closer together as the best of friends, and that's what's really been so cool about this YouTube channel, is that it's hosted by a guy that actually appreciates Descendants of Zombies and knows what it's like to be each and every one of you. I know what it's like to grow up a fan of Disney, and I know what it's like to be a fan of whatever you're a fan of. And I know sometimes it's really hard for people to understand why you're so appreciative of Descendants of Zombies, but it's pretty obvious. It has everything to do with your favorite characters, how you've idolized them for forever. Years ago, I used to idolize Jessica Simpson. And, you know, growing up a fan of Jessica Simpson, nobody could ever understand why I had a Jessica Simpson poster on my wall. You know, you take the Sonic poster out of the equation for a moment, and you replace it with a Jessica Simpson poster. It had everything to do with how Jessica Simpson was just recording beautiful music at 16 years old. And I just wanted to show love and support for Jessica Simpson in every video that I ever uploaded to a platform. And I was able to do that because I knew there were millions of people out there that loved Jessica Simpson just as much as what I did. Fast forward 25 years later, and I'm sitting in this chair here talking about Clarke because I believe in Clarke just as much as each and every one of you do. Now, I know there are bigger fans of Clarke out there that have ever existed than I ever been of Clarke, but, you know, that's what's so amazing about recording a video on YouTube, is that you know somebody's watching this video because they are a fan of Clarke and Clarke has inspired millions of people. Because I know what it's like to grow up being a fan of somebody. Jessica Simpson, Avril Lavigne, Hilary Duff. I've been a fan of everybody that's had something to do with pop culture. Ashley Tisdale, Miley Cyrus, Emily Osment. I had the biggest crush in the world on Emily Osment. She went and eventually got married, and then she got divorced, and then she recorded all these beautiful songs. And I think if there was a celebrity to be a fan of, I was a fan of them because I believed in their futures so much, and I wanted to support them. And I'm doing the same thing nearly 25 years later for Clarke because I believe in her so much. I am here to tell you guys there is nothing wrong with ever being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and you should never be afraid to let the world know how you feel about being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, which many of you are never afraid to showcase on your YouTube videos that you upload. Many of you attended the Worlds Collide Tour. You came out of love and support for Clarke and it showed more than ever before. Your glitter signs, your outfits, your gifts that you made for your Descendants of Zombies stars that you had forever always been fans of. It was really cool experiencing this at home because I had the chance to watch the Worlds Collide Tour on YouTube, and the one thing that I noticed from every other video that was uploaded about reviews of Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide was the passion, because it was an undeniable amount of passion showcased at every venue. And it had everything to do with how you were fans of Kylie, and perhaps many of you were fans of Freya. You guys are really crazy about people like Kylie and Freya, and I want to see that continue into the foreseeable future, because we have so much to be excited about when it comes to the futures of Descendants 5 and eventually Zombies 5. And I know the release window and the early on predictions are not suggesting Zombies 5 to happen, until 2028. But the beautiful thing about Zombies 5 not happening until 2028 is better music and a more beautiful story than ever before, because we thought Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires was a beautiful story in its own right. But I don't think we've seen anything yet, and we shouldn't give up on the hope that Zombies 5 is going to happen, and believe and be convinced that this story has been told and completed, and Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires was the final movie. Because when you really think about it, why would they have ever introduced us to new characters carrying on the legacy and the lineage of this franchise if they weren't going to do anything with this moving forward? They definitely are. Would they have ever recorded the Snow Angels music video if they weren't going to be moving forward? I think not. And I think that more people should believe in the future for zombies than ever before, because this cast is incredibly talented. You know, I've often made the comparison between the cast of Victorious and the cast of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, because the cast is incredibly talented. And I thought that the Victorious cast was beyond incredibly talented. You had a cast made up of Victoria Justice, Ariana Grande, Elizabeth Gillies, Danielle Montier. Beautiful, beautiful people. And I think the Zombies cast is just as beautiful. You know, fast forward 15 years later and look at what entertainment has become. It had everything to do with how much each and every one of you believed in it. And because you guys believed in it so much, you don't deserve to have your hopes and your dreams taken away from you by any critic who's ever uploaded a video about Descendants of Zombies. Because the majority of these videos that are being uploaded about Kali Cantrell and Freya Sky are reaction videos, because they're watching music videos or they're watching something having to do with Descendants of Zombies for the very first time with each and every one of you for the purpose of recording this reaction video. I highly doubt it anybody's ever watched Descendants of Zombies from beginning to end for the purpose of just watching the video to make sense of it. I say this because I've done it. And ever before I recorded the video about Descendants of Zombies, I realized how much you guys felt about Descendants of Zombies, how you felt as if you were part of something special. And because I know what it's like to feel as if you're a part of something special, I know what it's like to be each and every one of you, and I can kind of really sympathize with everybody and understand you guys better than any YouTube creator ever has when it comes to uploading a video about Descendants of Zombies. You know, years ago, I was a really big fan of shows like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And when I had the opportunity in 1995, the summer of 1995, to attend the first ever big screen Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie with Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank and Austin St. John, I thought I had the world. I thought having a ticket to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie was the greatest experience of my lifetime. So you think about the Worlds Collide tour. I mean, how did you guys feel when you got your hands on a ticket to the Worlds Collide tour? You thought you had the world in your hands, and you thought every dream that you ever had was finally going to have a chance of becoming a reality. But somewhere out there in that crowd, there was somebody who was trying to take that away from you by uploading a video of criticism about the Worlds Collide tour, how they felt about the ticket prices, the quality of the merch, the criteria, the performances not living up to their expectations they had going into it. They were doing it because they were paid to review it with criticism. And I have always and forever believed there is no room for any criticism when it comes to Kali Cantrell and Freya Sky in any conversation. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to take away the criticism. I'm here to take away the critics from Descendants of Zombies because they have no place in a conversation. And I'm here to support each and every one of you because I'm here because of each and every one of you. You know, years ago when I was recording YouTube videos, it was really hard to find a specific niche that would forever and always love your videos, to support you for your thoughts on whatever niche you were providing commentary for. I go all the way back to 1999, when people like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC were at the top of the Billboard charts, and I was recording a radio show out of my parents' basement, which was extremely difficult to do. You never know each time you hit record or to go live if anyone was ever going to hear your voice or your message you were trying to relay from your parents' basement, which was very poorly financed. It was extremely difficult to have your voice be heard and for people to know what your show was really all about. And then I transitioned over from radio to YouTube, and back then you couldn't go live, you couldn't stream your videos in 4K. YouTube has far more advancement in technology than ever before and far more options available to you now in 2025. And I like to believe that because you guys introduced me to Descendants of Zombies, more people on YouTube know who Jonathan Clarke is now and knows how he feels about Descendants of Zombies, because I got to share my stories about being a fan of Descendants of Zombies with each and every one of you, which has become one of the greatest joys of my life. So when it comes to talking about Kali Cantrell and other songs like See You Tonight, Goodie Bag, and Denim, I want to do it with a certain prestige and a certain pride that goes with talking about quality control every single time. So too do I want to do it for Freya Sky. So too do I want to do it for Ruby Rose Turner, whose story I believe is far from over. It's anything but far from over, because I think the reemergence of Ruby Rose Turner is forthcoming in an upcoming Descendants movie, because you can guarantee, with just 2 movies having been produced, this one is destined for greatness. And how you make sure it's destined for greatness is you keep on giving it awards and acknowledgments, and you make sure that it goes down in history for being a trilogy, because I've always believed you can't tell a story in just under 90 minutes and believe it's told and completed, like the original cast of Descendants led us to believe, and eventually we became convinced that they weren't going to do anything with Descendants and Zombies anymore. And I know a lot of people were left brokenhearted during that 5-year hiatus that Descendants went on, and it seemed to have faded off into obscurity. Then from out of nowhere, here come these new characters that you remember from shows like Coop and Cammy Ask the World, Gabby Dern and the Unsittables, Raven's Home, Berserk. It was a very different take on Descendants. I get that. Many people refer to it as a Harry Potter kind of musical. It had kind of a Wicked vibe. And I believe one of the cast members of Descendants had something to do with Wicked too. So it was very different. I will admit to each and every one of you it was kind of really hard to get into. But as time went on, and I realized that as fans of Descendants and Zombies, we have to change with the times. The story was very interesting. The characters were absolutely adorable. And there was every reason for us to become a fan of this new franchise. So I forever and always believe there is no room for criticism when we talk about quality control or Ruby Rose Turner, because more of a chance deserves to be taken on each and every one of them. So too does your cast of Zombies, because we have new cast members who are carrying on the history of this franchise, which means so much to me to be a part of. Because I think that when we talk about Descendants and Zombies, we should be giving you guys hope for the foreseeable future, because Zombies 5 is coming. There's an unofficial release date yet to be announced by Disney, but Disney loves to do this sort of thing where they keep us in the dark, and I really wish that wasn't the case, because you guys have deserved to have your questions answered when it comes to Descendants and Zombies for a very long time. And I don't have the answers to those questions, because I'm just like each and every one of you. I'm a fan of whatever I've been a fan of, and I've been very appreciative of every moment I got to share with each and every one of you through hearing your stories about how you felt inspired by Quality Control, how you dressed up as your favorite Descendants character on Halloween and came to my door, inspiring me to go back on YouTube and start a new show talking about Descendants and Zombies for people who were crazy about Descendants and Zombies. It's really an obsession, but I shouldn't refer to it as an obsession. It's just a passion that everybody's carried with them when it comes to Descendants and Zombies. The reason you feel so passionate about Kylie Cantrell and her character Red, and of course Malia Baker and her character Chloe Charming, and even Bridget, portrayed by Ruby Rose Turner, was because you saw something special in their eyes, and their incentive, that their approach with Descendants and Zombies became very different from the original cast. You know, a lot of your opinions have everything to do with what you're reading online. You know, the other day I saw a clipping online, on X I believe it was, where someone was trying to explain to every single fan of Descendants and Zombies that the reason why Mal and Evie had been removed from the storyline was because of the introduction of altering the fabric of time. So apparently the reason why they altered the fabric of time was so they could write people like Mal and Evie out of the story, and so they could be forgotten about. I thought that was completely ridiculous, because the altering of the fabric of time was just to give us a greater appreciation about how valuable and how precious time is, which sometimes many people don't really take into consideration. Because the question is, what would you do if you had more time? What would you do if you knew what was going to happen tomorrow? I think it's a good thing we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, because many of us would be scared to death if we knew what was going to happen tomorrow. But you know something? If I knew I had more time, I think I would surround myself with more people that I loved, and I would tell you guys more about my life, and I would tell you more about how I felt about Descendants and Zombies, because every moment that I got to spend with each and every one of you talking about Descendants and Zombies ultimately became the greatest honor of my life. And I say this because you guys accepted me as your voice of Descendants and Zombies. You knew that I knew what I was talking about when it came to Descendants and Zombies, and that's why many of you have chosen this YouTube channel every single time over some critic's YouTube channel where they upload probably one reaction video about Kylie Control or a Descendants or Zombies music video, which happens all the time. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that, and I can never seem to put into words how appreciative I am of each and every one of you, because you guys took a chance on me as your host of Descendants and Zombies, and you've been taking chances on me for forever and always when I can't ever seem to put into words how appreciative I am of each and every one of you because of how I felt about how Quality Control was treated. And I know a lot of the things that I say has everything to do with how Quality Control is treated sometimes and misinterpreted, because the thing is that a lot of people have to do when they talk about Quality Control is really put into perspective. They've really got to put themselves in her shoes. You know, how would you deal with being popular all the time? How would you deal with everybody knowing who you are and the pressure that you're under with a company like Disney? Because Disney expects you to know everything when you're probably 12 years old. Who knows everything at 12 years old? When I was 12 years old, all I ever wanted to do was buy a cotton candy machine, or I wanted to buy a snow cone machine every year for Christmas, or I wanted to go to the local fair and I wanted to buy cotton candy and I wanted to play every game there. And she's 12 years old, and she's entertaining each and every one of you. Many of you guys remember going to the fair when you were a child, probably 11, 12 years old, and all you wanted to do was buy a huge bag of popcorn, or you wanted to buy a cotton candy machine or something. It was really fun. But, you know, at 12 years old, Quality Control is doing anything but that. She's entertaining each and every one of us, and she's doing the best that she can. So because she's doing the best she can, I think she deserves all the respect in the world. And I wish Quality Control were here so I could tell Quality Control how we all really feel about her, because some of her greatest friends were ultimately her fans, because we've never left her side. You know, I've seen Quality Control cry because she feels like she misses her friends. She wishes her friends were around her more, and she gives special credit to every one of her friends who are part of her music videos, which I think is really cool. But each time Quality Control feels like there are tears in her eyes because she misses her friends, what she's got to realize is some of her greatest friends ultimately became her fans, because she shares everything going on around her with each and every one of you. I've also read some of these ridiculous rumors about how Malia Baker unfollowed Quality Control on Instagram, or Quality Control unfollowed Malia Baker, whatever way it went. And I thought that was really ridiculous. Sure, just the other day, they posted a dancing video together in Quality Control's house where they had the reciprocal lights turned blue. They looked like they were having the time of their life. They had smiles on their faces. And that's all I cared about, was seeing them have fun. Because that's all I've ever wanted your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars to feel, as if they were a part of something special. And because of each and every one of you and us together collectively, we have allowed that to happen. And we've been a part of something special ever since. And I have each and every one of you to thank because of that. Because you took a guy on YouTube with 5 subscribers that nobody ever took seriously, and you gave him over 500 subscribers in just one night. I kid you not, over one night, I had over 500 subscribers, and I've been getting subscribers ever since. And a lot of that has to do with your appreciation for Descendants and Zombies, and a guy with an itchy nose tonight talking about Descendants and Zombies for each and every one of you. I seem to never know what the cure for an itchy nose is. Perhaps many of you can help me out with that by hitting my like button, because if I get 50,000 likes and 50,000 subscribers, I can become a full-time YouTube creator, and I can make Descendants and Zombies videos for each and every one of you for the rest of my life, which would be the greatest honor of my life, honestly. Because talking about Quality Control and Meg Donnelly is so much fun, because I know there are thousands of people out there that love them so much. So because I know there are thousands of people out there who love them so much for everything they're going through and how much of an inspiration they are to each and every single one of you, you have to present every video about Quality Control with such honor for a future that you have to be really excited to be a part of. And I think that everybody who's been a part of Quality Control's life have felt honored to be a part of it, while some people have been a part of Quality Control's life and choose to criticize her like her boyfriend or some friend that she's not friends with anymore. That's a fact of life, because not everybody likes each other. But that makes you more appreciative of the friends that are in your life and have never left your side, because the people who never leave your side and forever and always understand you, you have more to be grateful for than ever before. Because if you can make it through life with 3 or 4 really good friends like I did, because I went to school, I was a loser. I was anything but popular. I was a video gamer on Twitch. I was a YouTuber for years, and after 25 years, more people know who Jonathan Clarke is on YouTube than ever before, because of each and every one of you. And all I have to say because of that in response is thank you so much. So I was a loser going back 25 years ago, and I realized that I only needed 3 or 4 really good friends to help me make sense of my own life and to help me make it through and make sense of everything going on around me. And if you are feeling like you're in the same position I just want you to know you're not alone. And I get you, man. I get why you're a fan of the Descendants of Zombies. You're a fan of the Descendants of Zombies because of the beautiful music, how you felt inspired, how you understood how the profound impact of bullying that it can have on a person, how it could really change a person's life and perception and take on life. But then you quickly realize that you have so many really good friends in your lifetime, probably 3 or 4, that have held on to you for forever and always, that never quit on you. And that's what makes life worth living. Like how this show gave me the chance to meet so many wonderful people who felt inspired because of Descendants of Zombies, who ultimately felt stronger and saw the light out of darkness every single time. That's what makes this show so special, because everybody has a unique reason for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. And for that, I just want to say thank you so much for taking this loser and making him a celebrity overnight with over 500 subscribers, which eventually became 1,000. 1,000 became 1,500, and 1,500 ultimately became 3,000, seemingly over the course of probably 7 months. Thank you guys so much for that, making this YouTube channel achieve so much severity and becoming the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel in the world. I honestly don't know where I'd be without the love and support of each and every one of you that I get for you every single time I upload a video. Thank you so much. And I want Kylie Control to know that she's forever and always loved by her fans, who go by the millions, who are never going to quit on her. And that's why these videos are being uploaded, hoping that Kylie Control is eventually going to see one of these videos. So too, Malia Baker, Ruby Rose Turner, everybody else who's been a part of the Descendants of Zombies franchise, because one way or another, Jonathan Clarke is coming, and he's going to be a producer and a writer for Descendants of Zombies, and he's going to give you guys what you want, what you've always wanted forever and always, a director and a writer and producer who actually listens to the fans and appreciates their input on Descendants of Zombies, because your input to me is forever and always what's mattered. And I've just been excited to be a part of this future with each and every one of you, recording these commentaries, reaction videos, and what have you, and everything else that goes with Descendants of Zombies. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, we love Kylie Control together as one. And if you want to subscribe to this YouTube channel and come along on this incredible journey, which never seems to end, which never has to be over, just hit the subscribe button or hit the like button, and I promise you, you will have no regrets in the end for having been a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because there is nothing wrong with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies and appreciating your favorite stars and all these moments that have made you a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having joined me this evening and watched this amazing video.